Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. Thanks for joining us. Today is Truth Tuesday. Satoshi Sean's joining us. I've been moving all day, so make sure you check out the Mighty Merchants channel and at Mighty Merchants Mercantile on YouTube to find out what in the world's going on. It's just chaos around here, but I'll be right back with my buddy Satoshi Sean. Hey, Sean, how are you?
I'm on the wrong page. There you are. I'm fine. How are you?
Did you lose me there for a minute?
No, I was just on the wrong.
In all the tabs?
Yeah, I was in the wrong browser. I watch you on another browser, so you have an extra watcher and thumbs up.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, good.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody who's watching, please give us a like, share the video. All that stuff helps. And make sure you're subscribed and do the little bell thingy and all that. Some crazy stuff all over the weekend. You know, I love all the woo. While Westwood and I were live, I think it was while Westwood and I were live, I noticed that JFK is on Twitter and is blue check verified. So if you guys haven't seen that, go watch Friday's Happy Hour show.
By the way, on that the after party thing, the Twitter Spaces, yeah, I didn't get the notification. I never saw it.
He didn't go live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he his daughter's home for Thanksgiving, and so I think he.
Well, I had the notification right before I got the link for this, and I was like, I never got that. I didn't see that. I was bored after.
Oh, well, I think a lot of people were. So on one day, was it last week or week before, or maybe on Saturday? I don't know. One day I just went ahead and went live because everybody was kind of bored over the holidays.
Yeah, that was that one. I didn't get that notification.
Yeah, so I did Twitter Spaces, and he ended up joining us later in the evening. Maybe that was on Friday. I don't remember. It's all kind of a holiday blur. The holidays do that to you, you know?
Well, Nick came over, which was cool.
Oh, nice.
It was not long. They were here for like 45 minutes or an hour, and it was after they went to Catherine's grandmother's. But Catherine fell asleep. She was really tired. But we started really late that day. Like I slept till like 3, and then got up and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna cook my stuff." And I thought the boys had cooked everything, but they just had prepped everything. It was already in the oven, ready to go. So anyway,
you guys had a really late Thanksgiving.
We had Thanksgiving dinner, which was it's an older tradition. People used to have it later. But anyway, Alex, smoked the turkey. It was really delicious.
I saw the pictures. It looked great. Yeah.
It was one of the best ones he ever smoked. And then, so the kids came over. I was like playing with Oliver, and I had this it's really cool. I bought it for the kids when they were young, but it's just like wooden box that's a checkers or chess on top. It has like panels you can pull out and put them on top, and I've played like 20 different games. All the pieces, like cards for Old Maid, regular cards, it's like 25 games in one wooden. It's like a nice wood, So we played.
You know how to play chess?
Oh yeah.
See, I never learned how.
All the time as a kid. Where I lived, we had life-size chess pieces in our courtyard.
Oh, cool.
And that was cool. I used to like to play chess, but yeah, hadn't played in a long time. I played with Alex, and it was the same thing. Is what I'm trying to get to. I played checkers with Oliver, and I hadn't played so long. I don't know how to play. I'm like, do I move to just only? I had to look up on Google how to set the board up, and I was just setting them all up on 2 rows. But there's a third row that just set up in these spaces. And then I was like moving forward and backwards, and I was like, yeah, it'd be a king to do that. And then so it was. We were both like, just but then we played Snakes and Ladders. And that game will go on.
Ladders.
Snakes. The original was Snakes and Ladders.
What?
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Snake will bite you and then poops you out the end. Old, like when the game was invented by druids.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, but we played that. What else? Oh, and then we tried to play Sorry, but I forgot.
Oh, my kids love Sorry.
I forgot the rules for that, and it's not called. I think the original of what it's called.
Oh.
It's like didn't even know how to look it up on the directions. They didn't know the name of it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But he wanted to play Chinese checkers with it.
Well, that's good. Yeah, those games are fun. Well, that kind of leads into one of the topics I wanted to talk about. We may be playing lots of board games. It might be a good time to get the puzzles and the board games ready. They're finally so on the Great Awakening map. One of the things on there is the solar storm or the solar flash. I don't know if it calls it the solar storm or the solar flash. But we've been seeing, there's solar storms all the time on the sun or the surface of the sun. A lot of times they don't even reach us or don't affect us or whatever. But recently NASA has issued, actually, I think just a few
solar
hours.
Storm or solar flare?
So let's find out.
There's
It says solar storms have a massive impact and can damage communication systems, can disrupt frequency of GPS, as well as cause internet outages. Usually only last for a couple hours. Meanwhile, solar storms are not usually harmful for humans. NASA predicts on November 30th, radio and GPS blackouts. They have alerted that a solar storm can hit the Earth on November 30th, causing a minor blackout of radio and GPS signals. Gradual increase in space activities, especially solar storms, are monitored, and they are expected to hit Earth on November 30th due to a coronal mass ejection. They said that it is being caused by CME, which will hit the Earth on Sunday, causing a 15-hour long solar flare of the G2 class.
Wow.
So here is Dr. Tamitha Skov. I don't know how you say her name. But she said that a partly Earth-directed solar storm, so maybe someone will make an announcement that says the storm is upon us. And NASA and NOAA agree a glancing blow is expected early November 30th, mainly south of Earth, so minor effects expected. Aurora possible at high latitudes. GPS amateur radio impacts minimal. More possible. Let's see. Much smaller scale. Can it do any damage? Electricity outages in several areas. Usually internet blackout. Probably only lasts for a couple hours, but it could disrupt radio frequency, GPS signals. Usually not harmful for humans. Can cause radiational impacts on living organisms, but due to Earth's atmosphere, flares don't cause any harm to humans. So that was one of the things I wanted to touch on today and just give everybody kind of a heads up going into this week and weekend, just to kind of, we always like people to be prepared and not scared. So anticipate things. And then over the weekend, I found Uncle Cliff posted an interesting interview with, what was his name? Somebody that he interviews with or listens to. Where was it? I sent it to a friend of mine today. It was about the Elohim, and it's pretty interesting. It wasn't David Icke. Oh, what was this guy's name?
Introducing.
Hold on. Jay Widener. And Ryder Lee's interviewing Jay Widener. So make sure you guys check that out. I shared it on the Telegram group for Team Mighty, so there's a link in the description to check that out. That's free to join, and you can get lots of great information on that. And then there's also a really weird letter surrounding, and there's lots of information coming out about Kennedy's death, or maybe it wasn't his death, maybe it was his double's death. And then stuff surrounding that about American Zionist Council registered as an agent of Israel, President Kennedy recognizing the power of the lobby forced to issue during summer of 63. And then something about like Kennedy was the reason Kennedy being killed was to give Israel nukes. And I don't know, there's some wild stuff, but apparently there's a letter with Donald Rumsfeld's signature on it connected to 9/11 that has something to do with all this. I don't know. But there's quite the rabbit hole with all that. And there is a Reuters letter, sorry, I always say that wrong, fact check that says that that is not true, that Donald Rumsfeld did not reveal the loss of the 2.3 trillion before 9/11. But then there's a letter with his name on it that has something to do with the Zionists and Kennedy's death. So tie all that together. It's very interesting. But I have all that on the Telegram group as well, because it's really important that everybody kind of comes to their own conclusion on that and does their own research on a lot of that stuff. So I'll share the links and we can have discussions about it, but everybody can think for themselves. So what do you think, Sean? Do you think there could be added conspiracies around?
I think the Rumsfeld thing is huge, because that was, a lot of people say that was the reason, like the whole, if it was an inside job, that the whole thing was the towers and all the New York stuff was just a distraction from the Pentagon. There was like, that's why they made the one went down here, this went here. So it's like, it was just one of many to not really take a look at. And the Pentagon was always the big deal to me, because.
And Building 7, right? That was really more to do. Building 7 and the Pentagon was really more important.
Not more important. I really realized that I was different than other people, because everyone's, sad. I'm sad. It's a very sad thing.
Terrible.
And then they show the Pentagon, and I mean, you can see, the World Trade Centers, but I was the only one that said, "Where's the plane?" Everyone's like, "What?" I said, "There's no plane parts. There's not wings, or there's no debris. It's just a hole." And everyone was like, "Oh, I didn't see that." And then people started to ask that. And then when I interviewed Jeff Berwick, is something we talked about, because it was like a same thing for him. He was in the airport, and it was the same thing happened to both of us. There was like, it was on CNN or something, and they were like, the Pentagon's finally released the data to put this to sleep, so everyone will see the plane hitting, and that it wasn't a missile, and that it was a plane. It wasn't an attack. It was a plane. And they showed 2 stills, not even like film, but 2 stills, and it looked like a missile. It didn't even look like a plane. Right. But he said that he looked around and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, there it is." Yeah, and I didn't see it. He didn't see it, and he was like, I was like, "Didn't you see what I saw?" Everyone's like, "Yeah, it was a plane." And he said it was the most dramatic thing for me too. It was like, you want to see it, you want, like, I remember went to Vegas, and it was a free magic show, so I didn't expect that much, but I could see like the little trap compartments under his tray, and that's what you go for when you go to a magic show. If you're not a kid and you're just like, oh, the wonder and splendor, you're looking to see how it's done, and 90% of the time you can't, and then it's good. But when you can see behind the curtain just for a second, and it's at that moment, I remember I was like, I didn't see what you people saw. How can you? It's just that people want to see that. And Rumsfeld, one of the biggest reasons, because of all that money. I mean, it was like $4 trillion, which nowadays it's still a lot of money, but back then that was the entire debt. I think the United States debt was 7 trillion. That was it, and it was like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. We owe $7 trillion. We're never gonna be able to make this. Blah blah blah. Rush Limbaugh said we can just devalue the currency a little if we had to, and we just print more money and pay it off. It's not that big a deal, and of course, opponents that were like, "Oh my God, no, it's $7 trillion. We can't do that to the country. We can do that to the money." Um, Now we're here at like whatever 50 trillion. But that was half of our national debt was lost by the Pentagon, and then Rumsfeld knew about that, and then the attack happened. That's a huge thing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's also our governments of the world who used to be able to do this. They would do their illegal, evil shit, and then it would come out
with the story.
It would come out 20 to 50 years later, but people were dead because they're already old when they're doing this shit.
Right. Isn't there some rule or something where they're like, oh, they want to keep it closed it's always like 60 to 75 years or 65
now
years.
it's because people are living longer, but it
Yeah.
used to be a lot shorter time
Mhm.
because they didn't have to worry about it that much.
Mhm.
There's only like 4 people left, and the people, the main people involved, the Hitlers and Goebbels and all that, they're all dead.
Mhm.
So it's just the lower lackeys that are still around, But now, these people are living until they're 90. The president's 80. I mean, come on. It's like these people, obviously there's something different in their whatever they're consuming that is making them live way longer than the average person. Average people are living longer, but these people, I mean, Ginsburg, how old was she when she was sitting on the friggin' Supreme Court?
Oh God. I mean, I don't even know.
These people are they're ancient.
I don't know if she was in her 90s or late 80s.
So yeah, this is a big. I think this is huge. That's a huge thing.
Yeah. So here's the letter that I was talking about. This is from July of 63. It says multiple presidents demand the Zionist Council register as an agent of Israel. President Kennedy recognized the power of the lobby and forced the issue during the summer of 63. Zionists saw this as an existential threat to Israel.
This is the Illuminati.
Note the author below. The author is Donald Rumsfeld. So it says they're writing Kennedy, and this is from Rumsfeld. Several thoughtful and valued constituents have expressed their concern to me over a report in the June 20th issue of the Chicago edition of the Wall Street Journal, which indicated the determination by the Justice Department of the question of the registration of the Zionist Council as an agent of the Israel government will depend on the, quote, risk of offending Jewish opinion in the United States. I would greatly appreciate your comments on this statement and also a report as to the policy in this Department of Justice will follow in determining this question. Thank you. Donald Rumsfeld, July 16.
So I knew it was my birthday. I don't know why. As soon as you said it was in July, I knew it was my birthday.
Oh, how wild.
But this was the beginning of the Illuminati. So this is the Illuminati, right? The Zionist Council. And they were always in shadow and had this was the face in the light. But this is around the time where it became really, really dark, and they moved away and became like super, super secretive. So this is the Illuminati.
Well, then I heard that half or a lot of our representatives, our public servants, are, and maybe you told me.
Yeah, they have dual citizenship.
They are also have dual citizenship. Yeah. Also, Israel.
It's like 75% of, I think, Biden's cabinet have dual citizenship in Israel. So they're Israeli just as much as they're American. They have dual citizenship.
Like something's wrong here, people.
Yeah, there's a foreign country, and that's why I asked you. Shouldn't they have to register as a foreign agent?
Well, and that's what Kennedy was wanting them to
Yeah,
do here.
and that's just being members of this group. But Kennedy, I think, knew who the freaking Illuminati was and what their goals were. But it's I mean, just on a pure legal thing, if you are a citizen of whatever and you are working at the presidential level, I think that should be kind of a big deal. And I had no idea until recently that like 75% of Biden's cabinet have dual citizenship, and that a bunch of our Congress does, which is smart. Everyone should have two passports. If you're, if you're gonna the shit hits the fan, you got to move around, and one of them is bad. Try to fly into Russia with a U.S. passport. Use your go to the EU. Any citizenship in any EU country, you can go anywhere.
Well, did you see what happened to Jack Posobiec this weekend? I mean, try to fly anywhere. If you were at DC on that day in January, he had, which I thought it was interesting that they used S, because remember during World War II, the SS. So the TSA has people's passport or their boarding passes marked with 4 S's, and they're
4 S's or one. Is there an A in there?
no
Okay.
There's 4
The
S's.
SA was the German army. The SS was the total. The two combined was the SASS.
Oh,
That was the army. It was the what's it called? Like their Navy, Marines. It was the SASS. That was the.
oh, interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Have you heard all the Bored Ape stuff?
The what?
The Bored Ape stuff.
No, I haven't.
Total Nazis.
What?
Total Nazis. Anyone that has one, support it. It's insane.
No.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's insane. The Bored Ape itself and the symbol for the project is the same symbol for the SS, for the Nazis, for everything. It's a black circle, but not a circle. It's like got and not spikes, but like a messed up around, and then a skull in the middle, and then SS here, SS there, and then it says on the bottom, and everything. I watched this video, and it's an hour and a half video. Someone did a documentary on it, and the beginning of the video, he goes, "If someone tells you something, you're like, hey man, that's kind of a stretch," and they tell you something else, and you're like, well, I can see that, but it's a little bit of a stretch.
Is that connected with Eastgate at all?
And well, he said, how many numbers, how many little bits of proof is it until you believe it? And it was like, you look at something and like, well, that's a stretch. That's that. But so many stretches they make a line, and they're like, what is the number? And this dude literally shows like probably 70 to 80 things. It's an hour and a half of him just showing, not just BS, just here's this, here's this, here's that, here's this, here's this. The names they chose, everything is, you would love it because it's all symbolic, and you got but like you have to know, and that's one thing that these people like. That if they like something to be esoteric, and the people involved like that, because it's like, hey, everyone else is stupid.
Yeah, they like to rub it in your face.
Yeah, they like to rub it in your face, and they're it may be like the biggest troll of all time, but it's still really bad to troll people on.
Wow.
All Nazi stuff. Yeah, pretty bad.
No, all I've been hearing about is grok. Grok, 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 grok.
They do go into that too.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't like giving like any kind of coin advice or anything, and I'm not giving any coin advice, but my husband really likes it.
I will. I'll send you a link to that. You'll like it. It is mind blowing every time. I like because at first I'm like, yeah, well, oh,
Well, I
oh,
like that you'll get paid for contributing. So it's like it'll be like what Bix kind of talked about, like getting paid for your work or your attention, or because right now, like you use Chat GPT and you give it feedback, but you don't get anything for that. So you are contributing to the network, but you don't get anything for that. So I like that on Grok, like if you contribute to the network or you give feedback to help that algorithm or the thing learn or whatever,
that's how it's
then
always been though.
you get paid for it.
You remember the mannequin challenge?
Yes. Yep. I heard about this.
Yeah, I told you about it. That was Google started the challenge. For
Hmm.
anyone that doesn't know, Google started this challenge where you like everybody would freeze and someone would walk with a camera,
Yeah.
so it
So it
looks like
was to
everyone's
teach.
frozen, you know. But
Yeah.
that's because they were developing AI, and they needed tons of like millions of subjects, which would have taken them like 5 or 10 years
Hmm.
to gather that many people to pay them. Here's $10 an hour for you to stand here for 2 hours. So they made this, and they had everything within like a week. They had enough data in a week, and the thing went on for
To do the AI learning.
yeah,
I hope
all the
their
research
Google
that
do
they needed
AI learning exponentially.
free.
It's kind of like the 23andMe thing. Well, how do you gather a bunch of people's DNA?
Yeah,
It's going to be really expensive. How are you going to get people to submit? I know. Tell them you're going to find out that you were related to kings and queens and
make them
you're
pay
very
for it.
special. Your ancestry is important. And then they'll
And,
all sit in a
funny,
tube and pay
funny,
$100 a piece and send it in.
funny thing I would say on your channel, not mine. My ex-wife, she worked for them for like a month, and
Mm.
then they said she had to pay child support. She quit, but she's like super into it, and she's like obsessed with it. And she just wants like the kids to be, and they're like, we don't care. But she had hers done.
Hmm.
And her family's like really racist, and she came back that she had like 15% African, and her mom, her aunt was just so mad. It was pretty funny. It was hilarious. I thought.
Did you tell her there's white people in Africa?
No, I just
Just let her run with
I
it.
just thought it was hilarious. Yeah,
Let the ignorance reign supreme over there.
yeah. I thought it was pretty funny.
Lord.
Uh, yeah.
I don't even know what to do with people anymore. Um, yeah, there's lots of talk about, kind of all over. I can't validate this, but, there was another report about banks in Africa closing down. And so, just kind of pay attention right now, you guys. I received a debit card from a credit union, a military credit union that I do not have an account at. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I'm going to follow up with it tomorrow and give them a call and ask what account that goes to and
Your
why.
checking account with $7 million in it. Oh, that one I forgot.
I forgot about that
I
one.
totally forgot about it.
Thanks.
Let me go
Thanks.
to moneymetals.com and use code Sean to get
Yeah. And
silver.
I'm going to buy a
And
shirt.
just yeah.
Silver immediately. Yeah. I'll be right there.
So this card's good, right? I can use this right now.
Yeah, and it's a debit card. It
Yeah,
just says debit card. And I was like, there's something in there. Like,
that
I don't know. It was kind of weird.
that would be hilarious.
But Trump said we're getting new phones soon. So if the solar flare hits the end of
There's
this
something else I wanted to talk
month.
about.
Oh, also Canon told me that on Fortnite, there are little comms sometimes on those game things. I can't remember what they're called. They're like chapter episode upcoming, like they're like trailers for a movie or whatever.
Mhm.
And he said December 2nd is the big bomb or the flare or the whatever. And it sounded like a solar flare. And he's like super excited about it. And so it's funny that the dates kind of match up and the things kind of match up. So
they've cleared all the soldiers that they kicked out for refusing to take the jab. and they've asked them to come back to the military.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah,
Okay, they might need them because the
yeah.
other thing I'm hearing, so you know how they passed the thing in Texas about clear or picking up or stopping foreign people from coming in or whatever. In Australia, they funded this big thing and they did a thing where they're going to pick up and deport, but first they're going to put like ankle bracelets on them and then deport any foreign people from Australia. Like they're getting ready to do like mass arrest and uh, deportation in some of these
That would be
places and
interesting.
countries. So I don't know. It's gonna get interesting real quick, I think.
Masked. When you use the word masked, does make me nervous, though.
That well, especially with what we're gonna be talking about on your channel with
Yep.
what's going on in New
What I
York.
was thinking. Yeah.
That
Also, so along with this, it's so blatant. They said, hey, the military's like, hey, and they didn't even really apologize. They're like, hey, the government, said that all this was wrong, so we've changed everything. We would like you to come back, and we'll reinstate all your stuff. Everything's not your fault, blah blah blah. After they kick these people out, now those are people they want to get back. This soldier goes on, it was TikTok or something. He made a video that his 4-year enlistment is up. He's like a kid, and he's getting out. And he went to Afghanistan for the withdrawal. He was there. He got sent there. They did a tour to help the withdrawal.
I think I tweeted about this.
And so he's getting on one of the last 2 planes, him and his unit, and they said, we don't have room or weight for all your stuff. Leave it.
Right.
And he's like, no, this is expensive stuff. I'm not leaving it. I'm responsible for my stuff. And they're like, no, we got you. Don't worry about it. Just leave it. There's not room on the plane. We have to get out of Afghanistan and leave it.
And now they're charging him.
Yeah, now he's getting out of the military. They're like, hey, where's this stuff? He said, I was ordered to leave in Afghanistan. They're like, oh, you owe us $4,000.
Mm-hmm. But we're forgiving student debt.
No, yeah, he said he's mad about that. But I was like, dude, they left billions of dollars.
They left. You wouldn't believe what they did. I had a lady here that she's it's not like a PETA group, but she's with a group that makes sure that they humanely treat animals on like movie sets and whatever. And she was like, you would not believe what happened to the military dogs and stuff.
Yeah, and those in the
You don't
U.S.
want to know.
If you if you do anything to a police dog, you go to prison.
Well, they did a lot worse than that to those military dogs.
Yeah, I know, and that was a big thing. It's like, you don't fuck with kids, don't fuck with dogs. Internet will go after you, or cats.
Mm-hmm.
But
think about what Fauci and Biden did to dogs.
I couldn't believe that they're charging. I mean, it was Afghanistan. It was anywhere else, but it's like literally your kid grows up and sees you beating his mom every day, and then he gets married and he smacks his wife, and you get mad. I mean, it's like, dude, it's the worst example of leaving our shit anywhere ever.
Mm-hmm.
It was there. We left so much, and you're charging the little guy because he's getting out, and you're like, no, we don't need.
He was ordered to do that.
Yeah, and he's ordered. It's like, we don't need you. You're not going to die for us anymore. Fuck you.
I wonder if we could connect him with what's that lady on? There's a lady on Twitter that she helps vets out and stuff, and like then you could give to her nonprofit, and she could, like, the community could pay her or whatever.
And when I was a financial advisor, I only worked with the military. I only worked with the military because of where I am, because of who I worked for. I always worked for military associations like AFBA, NBA, NCOA. Anyway, so it was my job. I like to help soldiers, and when it comes to needing your money, you can have to fill out forms and go through so much red tape, and it's hard to get money. But when you owe the government money, if they overpay you or do something, they just take it. Mm-hmm. Oh, you got bills and everything? Fuck you. Now you can have what I guess people will call a bank draft, but it comes out of your paycheck. In the military, it's called an allotment, and they can't take your allotments. So it's like, dude, pay your rent with allotment, pay your bills with allotments, so that when they take your money, they can't touch that. But the military will take all your money. They'll take everything and give you a no pay due, where you get zero money for your
What?
paycheck, and that's illegal. They can only take
Yeah.
but you have to know that because they
Oh,
do
okay.
it. It says that they won't put any undue financial hardship. So the most they can take is half of your check. But if soldiers don't know that, they just say like, "Oh, they took all my money. How do I live? What do I do?" They have no money for anything. So when the government wants money from a soldier, they just take it. There's no way you can not pay that because it's like taxes. They get their hand on it before you get your money. They'll take that $4,000 from that dude. He'll probably get, no paycheck when he gets out because they're going to take everything.
There was one other thing I wanted to talk about really quick. There had ICANN is suing the SEC with Elon and somebody else. Dang it, where is it? I can't find it now. I'll find it and post it in the Telegram group, but it's kind of a big deal. And there's more of that can you sue the government kind of thing.
Well, whenever you get in the military, you get what's called your TA-50. It's like all your gear. And then when you get out, you have to turn everything in. If you're missing stuff, you have to go. That's what it is. Any military bases, there's always like a army surplus. Because you can go get some old piece of shit as long as it, counts that you've kept it and you have it and you turn it in. You're good.
Okay, hold on. There's something about Nigeria too, which that's new. Okay, well, I'll check on that. Hold on.
Yeah, we should jump over and run late.
Okay, hold on. Let me share this with you guys real quick because I think I found it. Well, I think it's an article about insider trading. Oh yeah, so this is the thing that they're filing about SEC's shadow insider trading case. So this is why they have Elon involved in it. So follow Nick Morgan over here on it's Investor Chad NT. He's like super smart. He's with the ICANN, and it's really, really important what's happening right now. And they are fighting for the little guy, and it's important. It says if public companies restrain trading in order to keep their competitors' stock prices low, one might expect the SEC to disapprove. Instead, the SEC compels it. ICANN shadows insider trading amicus. So there's that. And then here's the information with Mark Cuban and Elon Musk filed with them. So, ooh, you live in Texas, Sean. I might need to connect you with a friend of mine. All right, let's jump over to Sean's channel, and then I have a favor to ask after the show.
Also, the New York Times said that we need to. I wanted to say this when you said something about the Wall Street Journal with that letter.
Yes.
Yeah. So newspapers used to have a lot of power when it came to exposing things and opinions on what should happen. So, but the Wall Street Journal came, or not the Wall Street, the New York Times came out, said that we need to lower Social Security and Medicare because they're living on borrowed money. Like they just found that out. But yeah, I don't even think we'll talk about that this week. But all right, let's get over.
We'll talk about that over on your channel too. Let's get over there. Everybody jump over. Before you leave, please give me a like, share the video, and then we'll meet you over at Sean's channel right after
this. Over there.
Boop. Where'd it go?